Hey guys, it's me again, and I just want to say thanks for the encouraging words for those who enjoyed or indulged me in watching my intro video. I reached out to a few more people, and I'm glad that people are willing to participate. I have one one of you is actually already started some videos on her weight loss journey, so that's exciting. And I have another girlfriend who's an amazing vocalist. Um, and I hope you guys can visit her website. Her website is mariamawhite.com, Whyte. And Mariama is Marima. It's all one word, mariamawhite.com. She's an amazing vocalist. She was in Color Purple. I think you guys will find that to be delightful. But on another note, I was taking the practice bar exam, and I was leaving, and I saw a girlfriend in law school, and this is her last term, so congratulations to you. And we had a conversation sort of talking about um, life and how life can really come at you. And I have another girlfriend who's really going through a tremendous um, challenge right now, but I know God's going to show up because He's so faithful. Um, so keep her in your prayers. And well, basically, I was leaving out because her and I were in this practice bar exam test, and she opened up to me about um, something that happened in her life, and it could have, well, I'm sure it was horrific to go through it. And I was sharing with her some of the details of what I've been going through, and she is an amazing woman. She's always struck me as someone who's very strong, someone who was maybe a little what I interpreted as guarded. Um, but in the conversation I had with her was really refreshing because I walked away with things that you hear people say, but the connection we had and the energy that I got from her really was just you cannot be afraid of what other people think about you. You cannot go about your life or be hesitant about doing things that you want to do because you're afraid of how other people will perceive you. And I feel like starting this YouTube channel for me is an exercise in stepping outside of fear, stepping outside of what I would perceive other people to be thinking about me or what I'm doing or what I'm going through. Um, and so basically, we just sort of talked about sort of being present in the moment. And I talked to her about, not wanting to come on the other side of divorce and be bitter, not wanting to come on the other side of divorce and be an angry black woman, for, lack of a better term. And really, the difference between being cautious and making necessary judgment calls versus just going through life sort of like a bull in a china shop, just wrecking and breaking and being careless and reckless. And what I walked away from that conversation with was there are so many women who want connection. There's so many people who want connection, and so many women who want girlfriends, but um, we can sometimes be confrontational. Sometimes there's a sense of this sort of competition. Um, and how do you get around all of that? How do you share what your story is? Because every woman I've found that I've talked to has a story to tell. And how do you tell your story um, and be vulnerable but wise, walking in wisdom, um, knowing sort of in the back of your head that maybe you don't trust this person, or maybe this person might be judging you or judging your situation or feeling like you should have done something differently. And I walked away from the conversation with her just thinking, she is an amazing woman. What she went through was, what her family went through was a tremendous challenge. And I'm sure there's still remnants of that that are there, because whenever you go through a major life event, remnants are just left. Well, for me, that's in my experience. And I just, what I would like this, again, to be a sense of community. I'd like for us to be able to be vulnerable but walk in wisdom, because like I was saying with one of my girlfriends, the things that I share with her in confidence are not necessarily all safe to just put on the internet, because like I said, you can't really control your audience. When you put something on YouTube, you no longer own it per se. You can't control where it goes or who sees it and how they interpret it. So um, what I would like to do, as far as my journey in this time, and stepping outside of fear, a piece of that I find is being present in the moment and truly saying what needs to be said in the moment, and not being afraid of what somebody else is going to feel. I mean, like I said, you don't want to be a bull in a china shop reckless, because your words should constantly administer grace. Um, Still working on that. But your words should administer grace, and we should be careful with one another. We should be delicate with one another, but we also, want to challenge one another. Um, and and really, as you're being present in the moment, as you're sharing with another woman, or as you're talking to another woman, letting your guard down, or as you're coming into a new environment where there may be a lot of women, being the one to break the ice, and not, and sort of dispel that sense of competition that sometimes is happening, or sometimes is present when women can be in the same space with one another. I don't know where it comes from, but I definitely have experienced it, and in talking to her, she's definitely experienced it, and talking to my other girlfriends, they've definitely experienced it. And so there's a few things that I'm trying to sort of wrap this up without this being a really long video. But one, just being present in the moment, really saying what needs to be said, whether it's defending yourself, whether it's you saying, no, I don't agree with that, um, whether, just sort of being present in the moment. And then two, um, knowing that it's okay not to be a pillar of strength at all times. And I know so many of my girlfriends and I have this in common, that we're strong women. We will bear a weight, carry a load that can feel like it's crushing you sometimes. And even talking to people about what you're going through, there can be a sense of shame. There can be a sense of secrecy. There can be a sense of not wanting to share and not wanting to make yourself vulnerable. Um, and so I don't know, maybe in the next video we can talk about, or I'll talk about safe people, people who you can trust, because you don't want to, let your guard down in front of everybody, because everybody is not safe. But knowing that when you have someone you can trust and you found a safe person, that is okay to weep with that person, to cry with that person, to let that person see you, um, in your vulnerable moment. And I think that that's something that can be difficult, because um, I put a lot of stock in my strength personally. I'm really, really trying to walk it out when I say God's strength is made perfect in my weakness, speaking that, and really understanding that my weakness sets the stage for God to put his strength on display. And I do not have to be this pillar of strength. I can accept help. I can cry with a girlfriend when I'm going through something that is just so challenging. Um, and then two, saying what needs to be said. Um, and having maybe sometimes some difficult conversations with each other, um, while balancing that with some grace, because we don't want to be mean or catty or nasty. Um, but in talking to her, she said when she told me, this girlfriend I'm talking about in particular, who I said whose family went through a tremendous trial, in talking to her, one of the things I walked away with, was me feeling like I let my guard down, and I was probably supposed to do a better job of protecting. Because the Bible says you're supposed to guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it flows the issues of life. And I got upset that maybe I was supposed to have guarded my heart better, or maybe I was supposed to have guarded or protected things that I held dear to me. I was supposed to maybe have guarded them better, and being a strong woman, maybe I dropped the ball. And she said, sometimes you have to allow yourself space to forgive yourself and say, yeah, I'm smarter, I'm sharper, I'm wiser, but I'm still going to make mistakes. And that's okay. Sometimes I am going to trust the wrong person, and there are some lessons learned, some hard lessons learned, and that's okay. I forgive myself and not feeling like, oh my gosh, I screwed up. Why did I do that? I'm so stupid. And really not having that negative self talk. So, that's one of the things I walked away from. One of the things I walked away with from that conversation, and being sort of present in the moment. And it's funny because as I say, we should sort of speak what's on our minds with grace. Um, I've sort of had some interesting sort of experiences. I'm at the grocery store. This lady, she sees this magazine. You know how you're in the line, they've got all the little gossip magazines, and she was looking at, I think his name is Ryan Gosling. He was in The Notebook. I'm pretty sure that's his name because he is top notch. But anyway, she was like, "Ooh, the things I would do to him," da 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 da. And I was sitting there like, I do not know you. I've never had a conversation with you, and I feel like this relationship, this whole interaction is going somewhere that I didn't anticipate it was gonna go. But part of me felt obligated to just be nice and say, "Oh yeah, oh." But then part of me was like, "This is kind of weird." And then another person comes up to me wearing basically a superhero outfit and is asking me some questions, and I'm thinking to myself, so am I supposed to just stand here and act like you're not wearing this? Am I supposed to stand here and act like it's okay that you're in like neck to ankle spandex and you're a grown man? And we're just supposed to talk about the weather? I don't know. So I guess I have to find the balance myself in understanding that life can really beat people up and put them in a space where they end up outside as an adult in neck to ankle Superman outfit and asking you what time it is as if they're not standing there in a cape. So, part of me was like, you're wearing a cape, like what's going on in life? And then part of me felt sad, like what has happened that this is acceptable behavior in his mind? And so, I don't know, I guess just finding the balance. Those are just two funny, sort of not serious things that happened, and I was like, what do you say in this moment? And then, more serious things where a friend is coming to me in confidence, sort of sharing a tough time and really allowing myself to be vulnerable and transparent. And the more I allowed myself to be transparent, the more I feel like she had been freed to be just as transparent with me. I have 3 girlfriends that I'm thinking of in particular who have things that they're going through. And so I would like for I guess to start a conversation and to just encourage women to. I'm not trying to be on some kumbaya type of a feeling. It's not what I'm trying to say because, like I said, we want to walk in wisdom, and sometimes people need to be, corrected. There needs to be correction. God says He corrects those who He loves. So correction is necessary, but this video is getting super long and I didn't intend it to be because I feel like I'm rambling, and maybe moving forward I will like itemize the things I want to talk about so that it's more organized. But yeah, the more I feel like I talk about my situation, my scenario, what I'm going through, the more I feel like it liberates me, and it liberates the person I'm talking to then share something with me, and it's kind of like now we have this bond. And it's not like we're gonna go skipping through a bed of roses, but I see her and she sees me, and I see the strong woman that she is. I also see the soft, delicate woman that she is, and how sometimes as a woman you have to be um, so strong, and then sometimes you need somebody to be gentle with you. You need somebody to carry you, someone to help bear the load with you. And I know that God says that cast your cares on me. And doing that is such a challenge. It's more than a notion. It's more than we're just saying, okay, I'm going to give the situation to God. Because then you have to walk it out. And then you have to, go through the thoughts in your head and the emotions that are very real and that need to be acknowledged. And so I'm finding that as I talk about the things that I'm going through in my life, and as I just put it out there in wisdom, and measured, measured out, not just spilling all my guts to some stranger on the streets. But the more that I talk about the things that I'm going through, the more I feel like it liberates others to talk about what they're going through, and the more liberated I feel, and I don't feel the weight of what I've been going through, and also just knowing that as I go to God in truth, with time, He meets me there with grace. Well, He meets me there with grace immediately, but then with time and through sharing and with honesty, there is a liberation that I feel like is taking place for me and for the girlfriends that have been going through various situations. I feel like there's a liberation that's taking place, and I'm excited about it. And I'm happy that people are willing to watch me go through this journey and me sort of process with you guys um, when life comes at you and you are experiencing a loss, how you can, um, how it's okay to cry, how it's okay to weep and have a girlfriend cry with you, cry by yourself, cry out to the Lord. Um, and He meets you there with grace and truth and just gives you, He'll exchange. It's like a grace exchange almost, I feel like, is what I would liken it to. It's like I give Him one thing and He exchanges it for something awesome. I give Him this pain and He exchanges it for just such a peace in that moment. And then it's my job to try to carry that peace with me outside of my prayer closet, in life, carry that peace with me. And that's a challenge. And then also knowing that, I don't have to be that pillar all the time. So thanks so much for listening and indulging me in my video journals. And I hope that one girlfriend who's making her videos, I hope she posts them. And because everything you go through, it'll touch somebody. And I hope that you post it. And I also hope that you guys get a chance to visit Mariama's website because, like I said, she's an amazing vocalist. She's in the color purple. And I'm sure you'll find it most enjoyable. So, like I said, next time I'll probably have things more itemized because I feel like this was probably a bit of like a stream of consciousness thing, which is why I'm at 17 minutes now. So I'm going to say goodbye, and thanks so much for being able to have these conversations with me off of the web and then listening to what I have to say. Bye.